Hi everyone, it's Sunday, May 17th, time for another HideNet Week in Review. I'm Vera Jordick. So it was a relatively quiet week this week in the hide and leather world. Both buyers and sellers are trying to make their way forward out of this COVID-19 crisis. Italy's tanneries have restarted and retail is set to begin reopening this week. So are the big three Detroit automakers in the US. So we'll see how things go as more places move toward opening manufacturing and retail, and if that has an effect on our business. Editor Andrea Guallo says that although Italy's in restart mode, tanneries are only working at 50% capacity at best, with some faring better than others based on what type of customer they serve. With regard to UK and Irish ox, buyers are only willing to offer 65 cents in sterling, but sellers aren't having it, so there was little, if anything, accomplished during the week as far as sales go. Irish selections are confirmed at 65 cents in euros for the larger sizes. For bulls, German selections did not have a good week, with prices lower for most all of them, while those from the rest of the continent saw their prices remain stable. Northern German bulls lost up to 10 cents and are quoted at 65 to 70 cents in euros for the large sizes. In the cow sector, oddly enough, some prices rose this week, and that's actually because slaughter is declining and quality hides are the ones in demand. Andrea devotes his analysis this week to examining the various destinations that have been providing the work for tanneries this week, and as well as the trends that were in the trends that saw what the trends were in sales over the past week and the outlook for various hide selections. Turning to the US, prices were steady again, and in a few cases they firmed up, but most say that this definitely does not indicate a better market. The problems in the meat plants seem to generate fewer headlines this week in the media. And with regard to production, however, in an interview with the Wall Street Journal just Friday, the CEO of JBS USA said that given all the new safety precautions, they would not be able to operate near full capacity for several months. In the US, the next weekend is the Memorial Day holiday weekend, which typically ushers in the official barbecue season and the summer's higher slaughter figures, but that won't be the case this year because of those slowdowns. This is good news from the hide perspective because at this time of low consumption and closed stores, there won't be a huge onslaught of hides to deal with. Looking at the price of regular heavyweight Texas steers, it remained at its multi-week steady price of $15 to $16 for seasonal weights. The cow sector, meanwhile, is still weighed down by rock bottom prices, and little has changed there for a number of weeks now. Turning back to slaughter, the total crept up to 499,000, which was an increase of 10%. With regard to export sales, the numbers were up from last week's stunningly low total, but they were still pretty low at 317,700. Combined shipments were also higher at 470,700, but this is still far below where they ought to be. That brings us to the combined outstanding total for hides. So this chart you see that we're showing you this week shows how high this figure is compared to the past 2 years. And this reflects the high sales totals we've logged along with the lagging shipment numbers. So while some people don't have a lot of faith in the export sales numbers every week, the shipments are the ones to watch, and they have not nearly kept pace with sales. Turning to South America, editor Ronald Guiel reports from Brazil that prices were again stable for the week. Fresh hides were still unchanged and are selling at 49 cents in reals per kilo. While the real saw a little more devaluation again this week, the price in dollars was still at 8 US cents per kilo. TR1 remains stable at 53 cents per square foot. Among the other news stories from Brazil, hide and leather exports in April were down 34% compared to April in 2019, and they were 20% lower than they were in March this year. It was much the same case for footwear, and Abacalçados reported that April exports were down by 40% in volume and almost 61% in revenue compared to April 2019. From elsewhere in Latin America, Argentina saw its slaughter increase by 10% in April. Colombia reported that its production of footwear and accessories had gone down by double digits, and Mexico announced that the next ANPIC 2020 edition in June will be virtual. So that's all in the news that we have for today, and until next week, good night from HideNet.